And we are underway. For Dani Speegle, this is her first live competition in 544 days.
Which is a huge difference between when she broke out in 2019. She was one of the most active athletes on the scene, competing at multiple sanctionals that year before going to the games. And to have that such a long layoff, I spoke to her yesterday. We both had the chance to catch up with her. She said she's just so excited to get into physical competition. She was tired of the online virtual format.
And the 2019 thing was big for Dani because she competed in sanctional after sanctional. She said, look, this is a sport where you have to have experience and you have to go out and do it. And she learned so much about herself just going out and fighting in different events, different programming, different locations against all sorts of different fields. That's why she has the pressure and the hype around her today.
And right now, she is just flying through this first set of 10.
What, you thought 135 was going to be hard for her?
Yeah. You know, 135 used to be a snatch that would get you to the games, you know, back in 2012, 2013. Now you're seeing every one of these athletes just absolutely smoke it for sets of 10.
Dani Speegle's a great American athlete. Carrie Pierce is the all-time greatest American athlete in this sport. Last year, just kind of the cherry on top, finally earning a spot on the podium.
Yeah, that was really the one thing that she needed to kind of solidify her status as far as the American women are concerned.
I think there's 2 advertisements on her gear as well. She has the power abs across her top and then literally the power abs below her top. She's been known for her abs all the time. That's the one thing that's always stuck out. She said even as a 7 or 8 year old, and that just makes everyone jealous when you have abs at 7.
Oh, man.
Justin Kotler is her coach. He is here in attendance. We talked about training camps. His Underdog Athletics crew trains in Las Vegas. Home court advantage?
They're just up the road at CrossFit Culmination South. I've had the chance to spend some time there, hanging out with the crew, throwing down with them. Actually did an open workout there. They have a great environment. They have 6 to 7 games caliber athletes in those 4 walls at Culmination South, and it is a huge benefit for them to be able to go into the Lions Den.
Here's the thing, I don't know who he's watching. He could have been watching Carrie Pierce. He has 3 athletes in this heat. He's got 3 games caliber athletes on the floor right now as we go back to Speegle in the lead.
And he's got 2 more coming up on the men's division in just a little bit. I mean, this is basically an Underdog Athletics roster.
There's Bethany Shadburn, one of the underdogs. Underdogs is a great name for them, too, because they all kind of feel like underdogs. Bethany Shadburn, a top 10 finisher at the games, but you don't think about her that way. And that's not really fair because she is such a great longevity athlete.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that we haven't seen her full potential yet. The unfortunate thing about Bethany is each time before the games, she happened to have gotten hurt at a very inopportune time. When she finished top 10 at the games, she had a back injury. She hadn't picked up a barbell over 135 in probably a few months. And so in talking with her, she said it was a huge surprise. So this event, for her to be able to lift heavy repeatedly with her history of back injuries is huge.
Talk about Carrie Pierce being the greatest American woman, maybe the greatest potential, though, of the Underdog Athletics crew. Danielle Brandon, Justin Kotler said she has the potential to really push Tia Claire Toomey, and that is high praise?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kotler told me he thinks she has the most potential of any athlete he has coached, and really she showed up kind of out of nowhere in 2010 or 2019. She finished top 10, but remember, she didn't get to continue the weekend. She was 11th. Because an athlete got disqualified, she was the bubble athlete that moved up into the top 10, but unfortunately didn't get to show it.
Dani Speegle is still your leader. It's a very lonely place, being one of just 2 athletes, her and Carrie Pierce, advancing onto the bar in which they're lifting. Dani Speegle, we talked about wheelhouse events when we started this. Anything that involves lifting heavyweight overhead, Dani Speegle is built for this, Tommy.
And she's one of the few athletes on the women's side that has hit that coveted 100-kilo plus snatch, so that 225-pound snatch. And Dani Speegle right now, with her pacing, could set the best time that we've ever seen. When this showed up back in 2016, Cara Saunders finished with a time of 5:29. So being able to outdo Cara Saunders at any stage of her career would be phenomenal.
Just 2 more lifts for Dani Speegle as we get to Thorne Personalized Scientific Wellness. Visit thorne.com and check out the official supplement partner of CrossFit. Trusted by U.S. national teams and more than 100 professional sports teams. Thorne Personalized Scientific Wellness. You know, Dani Speegle is built athlete. She is a strong athlete, very much similar in stature to Cara Saunders. But how about Carrie Pierce pushing her here? The two athletes at the top of this, very different kind of athletes.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between this and a traditional 1-rep max test, right? There's some athletes that they may not be able to dial it up for, you know, a 200-pound snatch or 205, but they can move the high relative percentages well for reps over time, and they have the engine to support it.
Dani Speegle is beat to the finish line down in lane 8 by Kloie Wilson. Dani Speegle, I don't think can believe the fact that Wilson came out of absolutely nowhere to win. Would you like your jaw picked up off the floor?
I'm speechless. Kloie Wilson was not towards the front of the pack at any stage of the way, and then made a massive push on that final barbell. It was perfect without a miss.
Bethany Shadburn done in lane 7 at 6 minutes. Remember, 6:51 was the time to beat. We still have 40 seconds. Kloie Wilson came in as the 6th seed. Danielle Brandon is done. Kloie Wilson's going to turn some heads now.
Oh, absolutely. You know, she's taken a break from the sport for a little bit to build a career as a firefighter, but a few years ago at the South Regionals, she was 6th. She was the bubble athlete. At 20 years old, finishing 1 spot out from the games.
Christine Best in lane 3 going to work as you get a look at Shadburn. Also, by the way, taking a break from the sport to focus on your career as a firefighter. You gotta have a certain level of fitness to fight them flames.
That is applied fitness, real world fitness.
There's a miss on the right for Best, the fittest teacher on earth. She is a school teacher. Her students think she can lift a car, as Meg Reardon lifts with 1 remaining at this weight. And Best checks Reardon behind her. Cool thing about Best being a teacher, and you want to go to the actual CrossFit games, but doing stage 1 online last year, Christine Best actually did the workouts at the track at her school. Some of her students came out and watched her.
It was an awesome moment to watch.
Rolls that bar forward as Fisher, who is such a great Olympic lifter. It's good technique getting under that weight. Lauren Fisher is done in 7:37.
That would be an almost 90-second improvement from her time in 2016.
And ultimately, you're chasing yourself in this sport in some senses. Kloie Wilson trying to play it coy with a camera right in her face. She finally gave in.
She better get used to it after a performance like that.
My goodness. Elena Buds down in lane 10. Came in as the number 10 seed. 22 years old, originally from Averill Park, New York, up in New Hampshire now, training at CrossFit Free. And Best able to get that bar up and settle it down. These are important minutes for Best because she has legitimate eyes on a games ticket. And as seconds tick by, wants to try to save as many points as possible here in this first event. You're still looking at a top half finish at this point.
Yeah, it's not that they should be paying attention to the earlier heats per se, but the amount of athletes that weren't able to finish underneath the time cap in the early heats will at least provide a little bit of a buffer for her to keep her out of a bottom half finish.
So Christine Best is completed in under 9 minutes. Buds goes back to the chalk. It's just Buds and Meg Reardon still lifting. Reardon just missed a snatch down in lane 2. You can see her at the bottom of your screen walking off to get some more chalk. Back to Elena Buds, who's been training with Peter Mason at CrossFit Free. He's competing on the men's side. Sometimes all it takes is a little breath, go get the bar, and finish in unofficial 9:24. And it all comes down to Reardon. And this is similar to what we said for Best. Reardon, legit eyes on a games ticket. She was 23rd in 2019. You want to save as many points as possible here in the opening event. Your winner, Kloie Wilson. Reardon stands it up. And Meg Reardon successful at 175 pounds in inside 10 minutes. Every woman in Heat 3 finishes, and they've shown us why they all came in ranked 1 through 10.